Welcome back to the GLAC studio. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 5 of the Gaja Lakshmi painting, one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that is symbol of all the positivity and the positive propensities of life, like health, wealth, all the treasures and happiness, love, affection, and such. This is the Lakshmi form that we are working on. That's called Gaja Lakshmi, and Gaja Lakshmi is also called the elephant goddess, but essentially she is this symbol of all the positive propensities of life. We have been working on this painting, and starting with the planning in the first class, the execution in the canvas, the second class where we drew, with the help of grids, we did a lot of work. Then we kind of gave that execution some kind of refinement. And with how did we do that? With the help of colors. And that was essentially the layer 2 or blocking of filling. That was flat. So now we are going to give some kind of texture to that flat image, trying to turn that into a proper image rather than a flat image. And that is what we are doing. And what are we doing in this layer 3? That's called dark versus light. We're trying to see where is dark, where is light, where could be adjustments and so on. So we are working on that. And we have kind of finished the that dark versus light in the skin tones of the baby girl. And, and now we proceed with the same thing, doing the same thing in her costume, her jewelry, and also the lotus flower. We will also do the same on the elephants. There's a lot to work on. Yes, we will do that. Before we get started with the darkest colors, it really helps to start with the lighter color easily. The elephants, can we start with that first today and then move on to working on the darker colors? Yeah, we'll do that today and see how that goes. Okay. So what do we have here for the light color? Yes, it's titanium white. I did, come across when I am preparing tutorials. It doesn't mean that I have stopped learning. I'm also learning, and I keep watching other professionals' artwork and how they do it, and what are the techniques that they use. Can we adapt that to ours? Yes or no, and such. And one of those videos, I was totally intrigued by that. That two professionals, art professionals. I don't remember the name of them though. They were talking about how titanium white or white essentially could just go ahead and lower the skin tone or the color tone completely. So they use one artist was mentioning that he uses Naples yellow instead of Naples yellow is the very lightest form of um, uh, I don't know what to call. I think what we created yesterday would have been closer to Naples yellow. So they mix that color all the time instead of a white to lighten any other color tones. So that's an interesting thing that I was thinking of. Okay, should I buy Naples yellow and see how that works? I have seen Naples yellow also comes in some of the packets of that's the 12 ml packs that I usually give for the kids in my class. So I have never thought of it that seriously with the way the artist was mentioning it, it looked like, oh, that could be a better idea. But now coming back to this titanium white, what do we do with it? It is in the right white for the elephant. Yeah? No, this is not the right white. So I'm going to add, like what we did in the last session, what did we do? We add a little bit of yellow ochre. I'm going to add a tiny bit of yellow ochre to this and tone it down. So any which ways, I'm doing it indirectly. When I listen to another artist say the same thing, I felt okay. So it's not just me that feels that this color it's good. It is helping. White does help, but this color is definitely in the zone where it could pull things off totally. And you're still fighting with something because the whole color itself is turned dull sometimes. It has that capability, yeah. So I've added a bit of yellow ochre and just seeing if I should balance it out in a way. I'm going to show that color mixing to you. You see that it's not the titanium white anymore when it mixes up here. It's really on the, I don't know what you call, it's really on the lighter sandal color. So it's not the pure titanium white anymore. This is what I was talking about. And I would prefer this color to be used on the elephants. So I'm going to go for it. I've been using brush number 4 round. Not in a particular reason. I just pulled out that whatever works for me the best. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that in the space. Yes. This goes well. The animal could look this color. It is. These elephants are like, what do you call? It's called Airavad. Airavadam in Tamil, Airavad. These are these white elephants. Did they exist? Yes or no? They could have existed. I think they could have existed in the same period, that I talked about. I don't know if I talked about in this set of videos, but I do mention this a lot of times in many of my, painting tutorials that there was a period that is, prior to or close to man turning into ape, and there were many other animals and many other forms of animals that we do not see in our today's world anymore, but the mention of them are there in literature, in many scriptures, and the mention of them is also profoundly available in the paintings or carvings on temples, and other religious places. So yeah, so white elephants would have been prevalent or most commonly seen animals around those times. I don't know. Have you seen white elephant? Write to me. Yeah, I really would like to know where they are, if they are. Like in the same way, also the white tigers. I think they are existing, isn't it? White tigers, maybe? I don't know. Okay, so right here, I have filled in those spaces one more time with this color. And do we check the positioning of the leg or the body. Should we check it? We could check it with the comparing with the picture of these animals. They look fairly okay. Now I think I will do a little bit of what do you call layering to that, because it's not the single tone. It cannot be the single tone. We need to give some layers to that, and to that we will add, but we will come to that with what do we layer it with. It's got the slight pink tonality. So I am going to take a very tiny bit of crimson in the tip of my brush and go for it and blend that in the places where I want to create the shadow. I don't want too much of the color, so I'm just taking the white or titanium white mixed with yellow ochre to lighten up and do that nicely. But I'm sticking to that ever so light pink. Only in the tip of my brush. I still stick to the same round brush number 4. That's helping me create that. So I'm just using crimson to help me with this process, yeah. And where exactly is that bend of that? The face is the curve is ending and the ear is starting. That's a good space. Also the jawline, that the curvature of the head towards that trunk. All these are nice sections where you could build that lighter tonality there, or the slight pinky tonality there. Yeah, good. I guess this is fairly okay. When we work on the details, we will go over this, in even further way, um, with a little more of this color range. So we know that it's what we did was to add a little bit of yellow ochre to titanium white to get this kind of color range that is still on the white zone, but not too whitey white, like it's just in the face. And then we are adding that slight pinky tone to the white where we want the shadow to appear dark versus light. So this dark versus light that we are playing with is really, in a way, it's not too dark, isn't it? So it's a very careful shadow that we are creating. So it's not dark meaning a black or something dark brown or something. No. So we are still playing around with this lighter tonalities, which is the lightest of the light. That's a fantastic game that we are playing here. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are also doing the same. Trying this. Okay, good. So I'm adding that also to the place where there is this ear. Cool. I think this is fine for now. I'm going to go ahead and work on her clothing first. And for her clothing, what I'm going to do is to take vermilion again, and I will mix it with crimson. Yeah. So I think that's what we did even the previous session, if I remember correctly. So vermilion mixed with crimson, and I need another brush to work with. Going for brush number 5 round. Okay, brush number 5 round it is, and I take crimson. I have crimson with me already in my palette, so I'm not taking it out, but I'm mixing that with the vermilion, so it's getting really on the darker side of this what do you call a red. And that's a fantastic color range that I want to work with here, filling it in nicely. Oh, wow. And I'm not using oil. Look at the way that this color is going and sitting there. On the canvas. Yeah, can you see the difference? It's a lovely color. I just want her to look so bright, and the Chinese, Japanese traditions, the kind of clothing that they wear. I just love those colors. I do not know the names of the clothing or such, but I just love the colors, and I want that color to appear. And to a certain extent, I think I want to also experiment with this painting where the clothing itself, even though I'm just putting on this, Indian type of clothing, I want to have that Chinese type of designs or patterns there. Yeah? Let me see if that works. I need the help of titanium white. It's not a preferred color here, but I'll tell you why. Because the lines, yeah, the grid lines are visible. I want to hide them, and this is the right time for me to hide them. So I'm using that titanium white and using it on the places where those grid lines are visible once, and then I will add a little more of this color to go with. And that is creating what's happening here. It's giving the lighter shade in the front, and then it's leaving out the darker shades in the sides or curves of her body. Yeah. So it's helping in a way, but I don't want it to turn pink as well. So I'm just aware of that. So do you see that we have already created that dark and light shades? Where is the dark shade going? It's on the sides of her body and also on the shoulder lines. Yeah. So you see that is happening here. And then we go around the section where her legs are folded, filling that in. Remember, in my case, when I was doing the hands and defining the hands, I found that I had, too many rough spaces around the hands. I want to refine them, use this color to, define those contours of the hands also very well. So I'm just going over that very carefully, using this opportunity to refine those spaces also carefully, defining the contours carefully. Okay, there is still this strong grid line visible, maybe not on the camera though, but for me, I can see it clearly. I want to hide that without using the white, but it's not happening. Yeah, I'll have to go for another coat or so. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it is there, right there. With respect to the costume that she is wearing, and also this color goes on her what she is wearing in her head, the hairband that she is wearing. It's so pretty. It's got many colors. I'm going to predominantly use the red to fill it in, and then yeah, we'll work on the details when it comes to that. Filling in this color. Done. Yes. I need a bit more of that vermilion to go in some of those sections. Okay, so where do we have the darker sections? Otherwise, there's supposed to be two, the way the leg is folded. You want to show the fold of the leg as well, and for that, I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber to give the darkness. I think I will play a little bit around with burnt umber as well. I'm taking burnt umber on the tip of the brush and going for that line where the possibly, you can see the darkness. It turns into maroon because of this, crimson, and yeah, because of the crimson that we have, and also the vermilion, it turns into slight maroon kind of a color, but that is good one. I'm going to use that also in slightly in the places where I want to show shadow. One more time, nicely. Yes, cool. So cool, yes. That looks refined, fairly well done. Okay, I think I'm done with this color tonality now. What I want to work on is the flowers, because that's also the pink. And here I want the crimson to be taken into the white very, very lightly. So I want the very lightest version of the lotus flower to be there. So I'm taking too much of this. Whatever I used for her, for the elephant, the pink or the white with the yellow ochre, I'm using that, and I've added a little bit of crimson to that to get this color. I'm going to show you that color. Can you see how it looks now? Yes, this is the lightest pink that I wanted because the red has to show sharp. Then the flower has to be lighter. So I'm just making these little flowers, little lotus flowers in her hand. Done. Let's do the same thing for the lotus flower that she is seated on. Yes. Also remember that has to be really big in a way, showing that she is seated in it. All right. Nearly there. Going to fill that in. Looks good. Okay, let's do this part of the petal that is also below here. And then we will need to show some sort of shades there, isn't it? Even in this case. So we'll do that as well in a short while. Okay, now we need, I'm going to take crimson only in the tip of my brush. And you know how to do the contours now, isn't it? So just going to do the contours and give that kind of shade in the contours. Yeah, that kind of helps. Yeah? Blend it in wherever possible and leave it out. It's okay. We are going to come back to details later in the next layer. Just focus on having the dark versus light placed in the right positions. Logic of dark versus light. What is that? It's just that, wherever the light is going to fall, it's going to be lighter. So you decide on how the lighting is going to be placed. We are imagining in this case the light is falling directly, on the body on the body of the little girl and also the flower. So the sides could be slightly darker and the petals where the shadows could fall. So all these things you can actually imagine and do if you really want. Of course, there is the reference picture to work with. Remember, the reference picture is used as a nice guide, yeah, but we also try our best to grow our idea, our thought process independently. So take liberty in creating something on your own. If you don't like it, of course, we can look back again and rework on sections. So just creating a little more of light, dark here. Yeah, we see that this angle is shifting. Slightly more dark here. Leaving this lighter. Kind of angle coming, even at this stage. Yes? Good. So now we are done with the pink. We need this also here. I want to use the same vermilion mixed with crimson for the clothing of the animal. So I'm doing that, filling that out. Also filling it out on the sides. You can see how the sides are also done here. So this color is taken care of. The next color that we will work on is the jewelry related, gold, um, yeah, that is needed for the crown and the pot. This gold underneath her lotus flower here, and also all the jewelry around. So there's a lot of gold to work with. Before we go on to that, I want to fix this ever so lightly, the lip color. It's totally pink, and I'm just gonna add lighter pink to this to finish the lip area or the mouth area of the elephants. That's done. Okay, let's go for the gold. For that, what I would be doing, like I said, is yellow ochre. What did we do last time? I think we did yellow ochre. Essentially, we added to yellow ochre. I think we added permanent yellow, lemon yellow, anything would do. And then you can add a little bit of titanium white as well to make it lighter if you want. Otherwise, it is fine. Yeah, I think I found that. Was a bit of an accident. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I need another clean brush because this brush is just too much. I have an angular brush. Yeah, that I'm going to use again. This is also a store-bought brush. Nothing fancy about it. It's just that it's got an angle like this. Yeah. So I'm going to use this and fill in the sections of her crown. The crown looks too big here. I don't know if we should do it like that for her little head. Let's see. And the jewelry section of her on her neck. Yeah. What else? I want to give some earrings, so I'm just using a little bit of this color to make a kind of earring spot next to her ears, close to her cheek line, leaving it like that. Okay, nothing big. And then also bangles to her all her arms. Bangles go right around, so they are slightly one size around the contours of her skin that we have done. Now the belt. Okay, and the pot. What? I want to give another kind of jewelry there for her, so I'm just adding some spots to the section where I want to create one more long kind of necklace. It's mixing with the red, it's fine. As long as I can see, a spot there, that's fine. I can work on it later. So I'm using this gold again to work on few other places, like the gold right in front of her, the heap of gold and the plate of gold. That's one. Let's work on the jewelry of the animals, the beautiful elephants. Missing anything else? Okay, they have the pots in their trunk that are showering something. I think it's water, isn't it? That showering water on Gaja Lakshmi. The necklace that the animals are wearing. The clothing has a silk border, so we have the gold layout there. Cool. Okay, so looks like we are done with this as well. So what we are left with is the background, isn't it? So let's work on the background. The background is supposed to be a blue, which we did in the last time, and it did help, but we need it to be also having a kind of what do you call, aura kind of thing, or a circle that is lighter here, and then that it darkens around the space, you know, slightly outside. So I just want two rings there. So I'm thinking of having primary blue. And titanium white mixed. Taking a little more of titanium white because I'm going to use a lot of it to lighten it up, and I'll show you the color that I'm mixing the moment I'm done. And this kind of thing, that aura that I'm creating, it's just a lighter zone to lighten up the section here and then to darken up the corners. Yeah, so it gives the kind of enlightened look. I think it's up to you to follow this or to give a plain tonality if you want. I need a fresh brush. I think I can go for brush number 6 round. That is clean. Yeah. So I need also oil. Oil refill. I try to use as less as possible, as I have mentioned many times. Okay. So this blue is going to be slightly different from the blue that I have used previously. This is the lightest of the blue. Okay, I think I can experiment a little more with this blue, adding ultramarine blue, which is what we used in the previous round, isn't it? Looks like. I'm going to mix both and I want to see where things go. I like the combination of it. Again, it's my choice. So there is no rule up to this, the color that you should use. I'm mixing these two colors and I find it really interesting. And I've added titanium white to lighten them up. So the lightest tone is this that I've created. It's almost like white, but it isn't white. It's a mixture of ultramarine blue and primary blue. And a lot of titanium white. So I'm going to try this, and I want to have this aura kind of a thing, saying where I want to place the circle. It's up to you the way you want to do it. If you think it's all okay to have the same color, it's also fine. I am trying to drop the circle in here. So there is, you see that it's covering some of the central sections of where she is. Okay. All right, so I think I have kind of defined where I want the circle to be. It's almost there. I'm going to show you how it looks here. So it's not the perfect circle, but it's still there, you know, for me to revise and redefine. I'm going to go ahead and fill this color in and see how it looks. Okay, I can see that this is really light, and this is helping me in highlighting the key elements here in a nice way. So this is the color I want to go for. And when I move this around, I move it in that angle of the circle that I am trying to create. Yeah. So I see that the color is fine. And all I need to do now is to go over all these contours. And for that, yeah, I am comfortable using this also to do the contours, but I'm also going to show this versus, meaning the brush number 6 that I've been using versus brush 0. Both are possible. So if I want to continue using the same brush, then I will use the tip of the brush only to go over the contours nicely. That's the way I will do it. If I were to do it with a smaller brush, that's also possible. I'll show that as well. And then do this. Make sure that it blends in nicely in the outer layer. So if I have to go over the contours with a 0 brush, let's do that as well. So starting with the contour of the elephant. The 0 brush just going around that and making sure that the contours are clearly defined, and then going over with a larger brush to blend in that contour with the rest of the zone. Yeah. It's kind of double work, but if it works for you, well, do it. Doesn't matter. Whichever way you are comfortable, that's important, you know. If you want to use a larger brush to go straight over, that's also fine. If not, this is also fine. So both methods are okay. Experiment with this, and but the most important thing is that you're filling in the contours nicely, and also filling in this section nicely in this circular angle. The last time you saw me filling in, the way I was filling in, I was just going haywire, you know, left, right, and center with my brush. But this time, I just want those angles to show nicely, clearly in my brush stroke as well. So I want to keep to that angle that I'm creating, angle of this. We'll do this will give us to an idea to, you know, very good option to play around with the water body that we are going to create, because there will be light versus dark again here. So we will use darker blue tones to show the sea or water, and yeah, lighter tones in the opposite sides. It's going to be looking really interesting to work with. So I don't know what color you are choosing. It could be interesting to play around like this, to have two zones of colors even in the background. Okay, let's work on the contours of Gaja Lakshmi. I'm going to start here where we ended, around her hairline. Oh God, pretty little one. And here I'm just taking away some more of the space, because it looked like it, you know, she had a lot of hair here, but it wasn't the case, I think. So I'm just taking away some of the space, filling that in. So it's now coming back to the background then. We'll do that here as well. Now I'm painting away with a large brush directly. This lightest tone that I've created, it's pretty, but it also has a risk, because when it mixes with the yellow or pink, it turns another color. So I'm keeping an eye on that. There is another safer way to work on this. I think you all know that you wait for this painting to dry in this stage, and then you know, do the background. That's also a good idea. For me, I think it is also important to see how everything sits in the layer. So I work as one layer at a time, and if everything works well, then I go in the same direction in the next layer. Otherwise, I shift gears, meaning I might choose different color combinations, different background options, and such also. So for me, background is a part of the painting completely. So I don't wait for the painting to be, you know, fully done, or the key elements only to be fully done, then do the background. I don't do like that. And again, it's a choice. a shoulder line, this arm. Okay, all these tiny zones. Again, it's important to blend that in with the background. It doesn't, and so it doesn't look like, you know, um, a line drawn there. Cool. It looks complete, but the strokes are really showing in all directions for me. I'm not satisfied. Um, try to do as much as I can and then leave it out for the next layer. Mhm. I think it looks really good on the camera, maybe, but for me, I see a lot of zones of improvement because my strokes aren't so good. Um, like this is where I would say we are aware of the mistakes that we are making, but trying to work certain things out, what is possible in this attempt, and then go for leave that out to improvise in the next layer. That's a kind of I would say uh, it could be scary that you have realized there is something wrong, you are fixing it, and you have to wait for another layer to fix it. It could be scary. You want to do it right away, but doing it right away could also jeopardize things, that you are sensitive to. Maybe you need practice, so it depends. Some artists I have seen do work really very efficiently on fixing the errors right away in one go. Some of them choose to leave it and do it in their next or upcoming layers. I've seen both ways of working, and for me, I take the middle route, so I do some corrections. So I have there is an error. This error can be fixed in this layer. So that's the flower. Okay. That's where the pink of the flower shows. And coming back to the... Oh, there are tiny spots here where the background is visible. Okay, cool. So I have kind of managed this section, and right now the focus is on the elephant here. I think I have almost done the contours of the animal. Yes. So the contours of the animal is done. Now let's focus on getting the color filled in. So remember to pull that color around from the contour lines that you have done. If you have been doing contour lines like me. That covers the essential section of the background. Few more adjustments to go. Or I think I need a bit of white to fix this. All right. Okay, so that's done. Now we have to work on the rest of the background. We're still not done with the full background. So what I'm doing is to take the colors and create a darker version of that, meaning primary blue, ultramarine blue mixed. Lovely color. Oh, is that what we created last time? Oh, no, looks good. And I add white to it. Okay, I need a little more of primary blue and ultramarine blue. Okay, I think I like the color zone that I've created. This is cool. And it is definitely darker than what we have here. So I'm just using that on the sides to see how things go. Again, it should be in a circular angle, whatever we do. Remember that. Go in that arc. Yeah. And it should be easier to finish up the 4 corners now, but there are contours again, just be aware of that. And also the sides to work with, remember that. The elephant's body is also on the side, so the sides need to be worked with, and blend this in here, the zone where, you see this curve ending and the color starting, the lighter tonality starting. So just blend that there. That looks fine here. Let's do that here as well. Showing the sides. This color as such is super cool. It's just um, complementing and bringing the key characters to the foreground nicely. Okay, let's now work on the lotus flower because that's a little bit of contouring. I'm going to stick to the same brush for the contouring. Uh, let's see. You see? This is good practice. Try if it works. Otherwise, of course, we have smaller brushes to work with. Now that I am done with the contours of the lotus, I just want to blend that contour back into my background. Yes. All done here. The frontal view is actually done, but we are not done with it until the background is also done on the sides. So look at us completing layer 3 today. Okay, so I'm going to work on the top and the bottom sides. This is exactly why I want to work on the layers, even on the sides, because it really looks odd to leave it out just like that. Yes. It has to be the same color, then it gives real essence, real beauty there. Let's do this side as well, the last but not the least. Then we'll be done with this layer 3. So by this time, if you're done already, good job. Take a break with this layer. Just like the way I advised, when you did the layer 2, to take a break and then come back when it is dry. Then it dries, then it's easier for you to work with the next layer. Another thing is that you get to see mistakes clearly, or maybe it's not mistakes, you want to change things around, you want to rework or do some improvising. So all these things are possible when you have an objective mind, and for that, it's just a good idea to stay away from the canvas. Yep. So let's put her back in the position and take a look at her, how she is now. She's shining already. Maybe it's because of the lighting as well. She is really pretty looking now, much more defined, much more understanding of what is dark and light. I want to also give a little bit of shading in the small lotus flowers which was missing. Yeah, you see that there is some dark versus light, and it's that it is giving some kind of idea here. Even on the jewelry, we could add a little bit of dark versus light in the sections where we want to show. I'm adding the burnt umber a little bit in those sections, so we could play around with this as well. Hmm. To create shadow there. So this dark versus light. Do you see that? You see what we have done with the pot here? There is dark versus light, giving us the nice tonality there, the impression of there is something there. Yeah, you can play around with it, create that in all the sections, keep working on this dark versus light. um, and then let's meet up when it is dry in the next lesson, where we will take this further in the layer 4. You will see that we are going to only do the same dark versus light with much more nuances, much more detailing and such. So it's going to get even more interesting in the next upcoming layer. So whatever you want to do in terms of dark versus light, you just keep on doing that the way I'm doing it right now. um, I mean, this is also a thing that you will never be able to stop with this game. You want to see scopes where you want to show some dark versus light. That's about the whole thing. But at the same time, there should be a space where you say, okay, I'll stop with this, whatever it is done, and the next layer I will catch up and I will do something to whatever I have missed or whatever I want to improvise on. So that's also one thing that you want to say to yourself and just make a stop. So yeah, so that's the thing. So we will make a stop here, and yeah, let's meet up in the next session for layer 4. Until such time, take care of yourself, stay motivated, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. Let's meet up. Bye bye.